So I'm in the greenhouse. I'm in the greenhouse and it is 90.4. So it's not quite 100 degrees, but it feels like it because the humidity is really high. And sometimes it gets so hot my camera shuts off. I want to put this chamomile out here in the greenhouse because now the greenhouse is a dehydrator. So I use this as a portable dehydrator. I love using many methods for doing the same thing. In the beginning of this video, you saw I just harvest the chamomile flower heads, and then we put them in the greenhouse in a solar dehydrator. I call it my big solar dehydrator. And I love using the greenhouse to dry things, but I want to show you another way, and this is just the traditional old-fashioned way. So we just take a bunch of herbs, we clump them together, make sure there's no insects on them, and then we're going to tie them up and put them on the rafters in a very hot, dry room, which will be my canning garage. Now this method works just as well, except for when everything is dry, then you're going to have to take the flower heads off. So it just depends on if you have time. I've been really enjoying taking the flower heads off right away, and that way when they're dried, they're ready to go for tea. But this way it looks really pretty. So I've been hanging in my kitchen, I've been hanging herbs in my pantries. It also keeps the insects and bugs away because a lot of times insects do not like mint and very strong scented herbs. This way would have been what the pioneers would have done. They would have just hung it on the rafters of their home, and they would have taken some herbs as they needed it. So it all depends on what you like. But I love thinking outside the box and trying all different kinds of ways to do things. I have a lot of chamomile. Now, as you know, I pronounce my words very different. So I'm sure some of you in the South would say chamomile or chamom. Everybody says something different. I'm sure you understand exactly what I am saying. All right, so let's keep working. The more you cut herbs, the more they will grow back. And so this isn't the only cutting that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be cutting a few times through the year. So when I cut these back, in about 4 to 6 weeks, I'm going to have more flowers again. This is typical for most herbs. Now, not all of them, but most herbs you can cut many times during the summer, not just once. So you get a lot of harvest over the summertime. So now we have our chamomile and our rose petals and some lemon balm. It's all dehydrated, and so I'm going to infuse oil with it. So later on in the summer I can make some salve, which really helps with all kinds of things. I use it in bath water. I use it to make healing and sleepy time salve. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to fill this jar as full as we can. Now I always like to work with dried ingredients because for me dried ingredients works the best. And the jar is just an old coffee jar. I try to save all of my canning jars for canning. And today I'm using almond oil. You can use sunflower oil, coconut oil, anything, but you don't want to use vegetable oil or canola oil. You don't want to use that. Because remember, we are putting this on our skin, and also we are using it to make soap. You want to make sure the oil infuses all of the herbs. So you want to make sure the oil reaches above your herbs. And there we go. How beautiful is that? Sleepy time. I wrote on it for my sleepy time salves. That's the one thing I love the most about being in the garden, is working with my herbs, because they smell so good and it's so soothing to the soul. I hope that you grow some herbs today. It's a lot of fun, and there's hundreds and hundreds of uses. All these herbs in here are actually edible. You could add them to your salad and add them to meals. Has a lot of nutrients in them as well. So it's not just for making potions and lotions and things like that. It's great to eat in salads as well. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Hey, if you like videos like these, take a look. Take a look at all these other videos I have sharing with you my life here on the homestead.